This is going to be the most comprehensive review you will ever see on the internet of the most powerful off-road LED lights between 5 to 7 inch size. In this video, you will see side-by-side lux measurement, current measurement, light pattern comparison from the driver's angle in the cabin, from the drone 45 degrees to the side, directly on top of the vehicle. And I will be flicking through lights quickly so that you have a very straightforward comparison of what each light behaves and clearly see the difference between them. If you're also a lighting nerd like myself, then you're gonna really enjoy this one. Now let's get started. First is the lux test. We park the vehicle about 20 feet away from the garage door and point the lights to it to get a measurement of the lux number and the idea of how the pattern output looks like on the garage door.
Diode dynamics, 4291 lux.
Here's a Morimoto's Big Banger. Being the first time seeing the Morimoto's light output pattern, I was really impressed.
10.9k lux, Morimoto.
Baja Design's LP6 has two modes, a high beam and a low beam. High beam has everything on, while low beam only have two dials and the sight shooters on the bottom.
Baja Design, 13.1k lux.
Here's what low beam looks like. I also measured the lux for the low beam only.
Baja Design's low beam, 1085 lux.
Now we have the Auxbeam's new Ray L series 7-inch light. The hotspot area is very big.
Auxbeam Ray L, 9721 lux.
Since Diode Dynamics SS5 combo pattern output a significantly lower lux number compared to other lights, I was wondering, was it because of the pattern I chose? Out of curiosity, I'm also measuring the spot beam pattern from the Diode Dynamics because I know that produces the highest lux out of the Diode Dynamics family. I'm still going to use the combo pattern to compare against other lights just to be fair because every other lights are combo pattern.
Diode Dynamics SS5 Pro spot beam pattern, 13.7k lux.
Here I'm testing the lux measurement on the factory LED low and high beam from Toyota.
This is Tacoma low beam. 1844. Tacoma high beam, 3897 lux.
Alright, here's a side-by-side picture of all four lights in one picture. As you see, Diode Dynamics SS5 Pro combo has about 4290 lux, where the Morimoto Big Banger is 10,900 lux, and the Auxbeam produces about 9,700 lux. Lastly, the Baja Design's LP6 measured at around 13,100 lux. As far as the light pattern output, for Diode Dynamics combo pattern, you can see that it has a relatively smaller hotspot in the middle, where peripheral is illuminated from the flood pattern on the lens. For Morimoto's Big Banger HXB combo, I was thoroughly impressed because how much control that lens pattern has. As you see, it's literally got one much bigger hotspot, like a rectangular shaped hotspot in the middle. There's like a two less hotter spot, but still very bright on the side, where it kind of flicks up a little bit and extends much further to the side, and still able to maintain a very good light cutoff to limit the glare. The beam pattern of Auxbeam Ray L 7-inch light is more of a conventional pattern, where there's a round circular hot spot, very big in the middle, and then peripheral is just like a little less hotter spot with a very good cutoff on the edge of the light pattern. Lastly, Baja Design's LP6 has the hottest hotspot in the middle compared to the other three. It's not as big as the Auxbeam or the Big Banger, however, it's one of the hottest. Also, Baja Design seems to have a little bit of a relatively hotter spot right next to the center hotspot. I believe this is what creates that very smooth, evenly distributed light effect down the field. Baja Design also has a much larger glare on the peripheral. This can be either good or bad depending on your needs. From my testing, I found out that glares actually produce more illumination, however, they lack penetration. So any kind of inclement weather condition, the glare will actually blind the driver and doesn't help seeing the road at all. If you want to see how off-road lights do in the foggy or inclement weather day condition, I have made a video just for that. I'll put a link in the description below so that you can check it out after watching this one, of course. Now on the top left corner, I'm showing you what the Diode Dynamics SS5 Pro spot beam pattern looks like, just for comparison purposes. As you see, the spot beam pattern from Diode Dynamics is actually well controlled, a very large hot spot with much less glare. That leads me to believe that best pattern for Diode Dynamics SS5 Pro would be either spot or driving, which is a little more focused than the combo. Their combo is just a center row of driving with a top and bottom row of flood. Alright, now for the DRL backlight comparison. Baja Design's backlight is built in behind the lens, where you can only see through the gaps. Auxbeam's Ray L has a halo ring with a line in the middle. It has both amber and white color. Morimoto's Big Banger has two modes. One is a low power DRL, one's a high power DRL. They're both significantly brighter than other DRLs. They can definitely be used as a scene light on the trails. Diode Dynamics SS5 has 8 color options for the backlight. Although they're relatively on the dimmer side, it's still pretty cool to be cycling through colors from one switch. You can clearly see the difference in brightness when every DRL is turned on in one picture. Personally, I would much prefer a bright DRL so that I can keep them on and be seen, even during daytime. Now we are measuring the current draw. We can use this to calculate the actual wattage of the light. Auxbeam
6.32 amp.
Baja Design's high beam
8.72 amp. Low beam is 4.61 amp.
Morimoto Big Banger DRL low mode
0.74 amp.
DRL high mode
2.4 amp. That's amazing.
Morimoto Big Banger's main beam
Measured at 9.5 amp.
Now we have the Diode Dynamics SS5 Pro
6.7 amp.
Diode Dynamics backlight
Backlight 0.22 amp.
Typically, I know the current draw stabilizes a little bit. However, I didn't have time to wait. I just measured the initial current, so that's consistent across the lights. As calculated, Morimoto Big Banger HX Speedlight has the highest output at 124 watt, where Baja Designs come in second at 113, almost 114 watts, and then Diode Dynamics SS5 Pro and Auxbeam Ray L coming around 80 to 90 watts. For some reason, the DRL current for the Baja Design and Auxbeam wasn't able to be measured. I'm guessing it's that it's drawing too low of a current so that it didn't really register on the multimeter. You can see Morimoto Big Banger is drawing about 9.75 watts for the low mode DRL and almost 31 watts for the high output DRL. This explains why Morimoto has the brightest DRL. The Morimoto's low DRL mode is drawing almost 3 to 4 times the power as the Diode Dynamics, and the high DRL mode is drawing around 10 times more than the Diode Dynamics. Now we're doing the field testing from the cabin view. Alright, this is Auxbeam. Exposure from the camera is kept in manual settings so it's consistent between the lights, and each light is aimed to the tree line, which is 400 yards away. Baja Designs LP6. There's a low beam. There's a high beam. Tacoma low beam, Tacoma high beam, Tacoma fog light. This is the Morimoto. My God, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. This is the Diode Dynamics SS5. Alright, so here is 4 lights on one screen. I'm gonna show you what I see as a difference between the lights. I'm gonna start with Diode Dynamics. See how the tree lines are brightly illuminated by other 3 lights? Diode Dynamics combo pattern clearly can't reach that tree line. However, it does have the widest pattern right in front of the vehicle, thanks to the flood pattern lens on top and bottom. Morimoto Big Banger, on the other hand, its very unique light pattern allows it to provide a huge area of illumination 400 yards away on the tree lines, all the way across the field from left to right. This is something I have never experienced before from testing all the lights on the market. Normally a hotspot is concentrated in the middle, where it falls off really quickly on the side. For the Morimoto, the hotspot is in the middle. Also, it has like a secondary hotspot as a wing, where it's still bright enough to illuminate the tree line 400 yards away. Very impressive. Alright, for the Baja Designs LP6, the vicinity illumination right in front of the vehicle is pretty good, almost as good as the Diode Dynamics. And its spot beam is very powerful given that 13,000 lux measured on the garage door. As seen in the middle of the picture, that spot beam just shines on that tree line 400 yards away without any problem. However, the width of the illumination at 400 yards tree line is not even close to as wide as Morimoto Big Bangers is. For Auxbeam's Ray L series, I really like the huge hotspot in the middle. As you see, the hotspot on the 400-yard tree line is a little wider than the Baja Designs, and the height of the hotspot is taller all the way from the vehicle to the tree line. Therefore, you see a super concentrated light right in front of the vehicle, all the way to the tree line. And it has a clear cutoff line almost 45 degrees to each side. The width of the vicinity illumination right in front of the vehicle is narrower than the Diode Dynamics and the Baja Designs. Now I put the drone up right behind the vehicle about 20 meters high. This gives you a clear picture of how the light is different between each other because you see more ground so that you have more lighting information. Again, similar to the last angle, it's hard for Diode Dynamics to reach the tree line 400 yards away. However, the flood pattern on top and bottom of the lens provides a relatively wide beam. Here is the Morimoto Big Banger HXB combo. As mentioned before, looking at this makes me believe that this is one of the best light out there on the market. Do you see the width of the beam down the range at 300 to 400 yards away? It's just amazing. I'm going to point out this little white structure to the left of the frame. You will see how no other light can illuminate that one brightly, other than the Morimoto. And the backlight of the Morimoto is bright enough so that you can use it as a secondary scene light, almost like a 2-for-1 kind of deal. Baja Designs LP6 is kinda like the Diode Dynamics SS5 Pro combo, but it's got that reach it's supposed to have with that strong spot beam in the middle. Do you see that white structure to the left of the frame? Even Baja Designs LP6 doesn't have that wide of a beam down the range. Baja Designs low beam is a very evenly distributed light in the front vicinity of the vehicle. Thanks to the sight shooting function, the width of the beam is slightly wider than the Diode Dynamics combo. Auxbeam's Ray L series easily reaches the tree line 400 yards away from the powerful spot beam in the center. However, the width of the beam in the front vicinity of the vehicle is not as wide compared to Baja Designs nor Diode Dynamics. And the little white structure on the left side of the frame down the field is not illuminated at all. I'm going to flick through each light quickly so it's easier for you to see the difference. Diode Dynamics and Morimoto. Baja Designs and Morimoto. Auxbeam and Morimoto. Here is a different angle from 45 degrees to the driver's side. As usual, I'm showing you the stock headlight for baseline. Here is Auxbeam Ray L. And here is a Baja Design LP6. Here is the LP6 in low beam mode. Here is the Morimoto Big Banger HXB combo and the Backlight / DRL. Here is a Diode Dynamics SS5 Pro combo. And again, I'm flicking between lights to show you the difference. This is Diode and Morimoto. Baja Designs and Morimoto. Auxbeam and Morimoto. Alright, so from the video, you probably get a feeling that I really love the Morimoto Big Banger series. Well, it is true to me, it's not necessarily the best for you. As I stated earlier, I wanted something that could definitely cut through the inclement weather conditions without blinding myself, the driver. And I believe any kind of glare or light spill or uncontrolled beam would be detrimental to me. So personally, I really love the clear cutoff of the Morimoto's Big Banger series. I know that some of you may think it may be a little too much spotty for you. You may prefer to go with Baja Designs LP6 or even the Harbor Freight RoShock 6 for the additional light spill coverage left to right. I've had a pair of Harbor Freight RoShock 6. I believe that is one of the best in terms of the light coverage. But I already got a pair of ditch lights, so I don't really need to have one light covers everything. The ditch light of my truck is a driving pattern from Rigid DSS Pro. It covers very well in terms of the evenly distributing lights from my left and to the right. And plus the low beam of my Tacoma covers pretty well in terms of the vicinity directly in front of the vehicle. So a pair or maybe even two pairs of Morimoto Big Banger will be just right for my vehicle's need. If I have to rank these four lights tested today, I would pick Morimoto as number 1, Baja Designs LP6 as number 2, Auxbeam Ray L as number 3, and the Diode Dynamics SS5 Pro combo pattern as the last. However, could the spot beam pattern from Diode Dynamics redeem itself? Maybe I need to test more in the future to find out. I know Morimoto's Big Banger also have spot beam pattern, so that could make a pretty decent comparison. Alright, thank you guys for watching this long video. Hope you have a good one.